Hello, everybody. My name is Laurie White, and I'm the president of the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce. And I am your host today, and we are continuing our career speaker series as part of the Junior Achievement Inspire program. And we are talking to role models and mentors and senior executives in business about what they do for a living and how they got there and the lessons learned. So today we have a very exciting, very impressive guest in Maria Barry. Maria is a national executive with Bank of America. Hello, Maria. How are you today?
Hi, Laurie. I'm well. How are you? It's great to be here with you.
I'm doing well as well. Great day for everybody, and this is going to be an exciting discussion, and I'm so thrilled to be able to get to know you a little bit better and to hear about the track record that you have been able to assemble during the course of your journey with Bank of America. So first of all, tell us your title.
Sure. Yes. So I am the National Executive for Community Development Banking at Bank of America.
And let's talk a little bit about what that is. What do you do during the course of the day?
Sure. Yes. So what we do is we have a team across the country that helps to finance housing. And it's mostly mixed income housing. A lot of it's affordable housing around the country. And we also invest in historic tax credits as well. So we take buildings that are older and we help our clients finance them to make them beautiful and usable again. So it's a really fun role. We're able to make an impact around the country. We're able to help create housing that's really needed. There's a tremendous need for affordable housing everywhere around the country. So we work in Rhode Island as well as in all the states really around the US. And it's a really rewarding job and a lot of hard work, but very fun at the same time.
That's an amazing job. It sounds like a very difficult job. What is your favorite memory in terms of, what you're doing in the community development housing space? Can you inspire us with any heartfelt stories of your clients that you worked with? Just want to bring this to life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So a couple of examples, I've been to many events where that's really a highlight, right? When you get to the point where the development is built, the housing is ready, and people are going to start to move in. And a lot of times they'll have what's called a ribbon cutting. So they put a ribbon up before anyone moves in, and you all get to go and sort of celebrate this development being built. And I've just felt so gratified to be part of that and to hear the stories of people who, in some cases, did not have a place to live, and now they have a home. And one example was one day a gentleman came up to me and he said, we cut the ribbon and there was a piece of ribbon there. And he said, will you please sign this ribbon so I can put it in my home? Because I am so grateful for what Bank of America has done to enable me to have a place to live. And it's in partnership. We work with our clients around the country. It's a real team effort. And I always say, though, when we get to those events, I can't tell who's happier. It's the people that are moving in, it's the clients, or it's our team, because we all work really hard to make this happen.
Well, I hope you signed the ribbon for that gentleman.
Absolutely. I was so honored to do that. I was so honored and just so thrilled to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, great story, Maria. So tell us a little bit about what skills you need to be able to be national executive in the community development and housing space. How did you learn, early on in your career? What did you learn? How did you learn? What was it that you needed to learn to be who you are today?
Sure, yes. So I started my career in banking as a management trainee. So I was, new in the role, and I had some experience coming in. I worked in accounting for a little bit, and I have my CPA. And so I was able to jump in right away and help out actually my teammates because of this accounting background I had. So that led me into roles where I was starting to manage people at a pretty early age. And then I had a chance to do lots of different things in the company. And I worked in credit training, I worked in technology, I worked in risk management. And I really did not know the job I have today existed, to be honest. So I had no idea. I just knew that I really love to help people. I really want to make a difference. And I like analytical type jobs where you're looking at numbers and you're trying to figure out equations. And so for me, as I worked in all of these roles, I was actually asked to go work in community development more from the technology side at first. And there were some needs for some systems and some information, and I had been spending some time in that area. And so I went into the role to get the systems and information set up, and I learned the business that way. I learned about the impact on people. I learned about the ability to help develop this housing in partnership with our clients. I learned about what we could do in the community with public-private partnerships. And that just inspired me. I loved it. So I just kept learning, and eventually could take on more and more responsibility. And I was fortunate to have a great mentor in commercial real estate that helped me learn all the nuances of that business, because there's some, very specific things about real estate that you need to learn in your career. And, I continued to move in that role, and was the market executive for our Northeast region at first. And then I was promoted to run the business nationally. So it was a journey. I felt like I learned all along the way, little pieces that helped me get to where I am today.
So for the most part, you have spent your entire career with Bank of America, and you started out, you said you were a management trainee, so you started out at the very base, right?
Yes.
And learned along the way as new skills came on board, and also as new jobs were developed. And a lot of times we say today that, the jobs of tomorrow haven't even been invented yet. So it sounds like you've experienced that firsthand.
Yes, I did. I honestly could tell you that I had no idea that this type of a role would be a fit. And I feel like when I look back, it's one thing that's really helpful, I think, when you're thinking about your career and where you want to go is just, talking to people and getting feedback about different roles and what it entails, and then finding out what really drives your passion. And I have a big passion for helping people. I have some, aptitudes in math and sciences and things like that lean towards, wanting to take numbers and organize them in a way to help people achieve their goals. And so, putting those pieces, those building blocks together really led me to this opportunity. But I feel like, a huge part of it was really just following your aptitudes and your passion that can lead you into these amazing opportunities down the road.
Well, you explained that, you illustrated that, you talked about how you started in one role in risk, and then you did some technology, then you did some information systems, and then you found a place where you can bring them all together. So I think that demonstrates that that you don't have to decide immediately when you take a job, because you can just, particularly if you're working for a large corporation like Bank of America, you have the opportunity to really experiment and to find the passion that you're talking about.
Yes, so true. It's so true. And, you're reminding me of when I first went into banking and I had my first interviews at the bank. And one thing I just remembered from those days was, gosh, there's so much it offers so much here. I will never get bored. I just felt like there's so many opportunities to do different types of things, and so many companies can offer that. And certainly at Bank of America, it's grown over time, so it's created even more opportunities. But just that was really inspiring to me. This like, I know I won't get bored here. I know that there's going to be something else if I sort of decide that I need to move into something else, or I want to expand my skill set, that this company offers it. And that's definitely proven to be the case.
So when you were a young girl, what was your favorite subject in school?
Yeah, so I would say that I lent more towards math and sciences. That's where probably my top classes. And I always liked the analytical side of schoolwork, and actually went into college thinking I was going to be a doctor, pre-med. And I actually really liked the classes, and I did well academically, but I just I couldn't see myself on the practical side of it as much. And I felt like so much is like creating that vision of where you can see yourself. And at one point I said, you know what, I don't think this is the right path for me. And I had the opportunity to learn more about business, and I actually took some accounting classes, and that went really well. And I could start to visualize more of a helping people in a business environment, helping companies, helping individuals. And so that's how I switched over to business major. And that led me into, my career from there. But it was the math and the science that started it all.
Well, sometimes you have to follow your intuition, right? And while you're doing that, your passion sort of presents itself to you if you pay attention to it, right?
Yes, 100%, 100%. I'm just a big fan of that. Like you said, following your intuition, following your aptitudes, and then I had a lot of conversations when I was in college and high school about careers, and asked a lot of questions of people like, what do you do? What do you like about what you do? And I felt like I learned so much from that I could carry with me going forward, just little pieces of information that helped shape my thought process on where I might be best suited.
Give our listeners an idea of how you might go about doing that. So some folks might say, hey, I don't, where do I go to have these conversations? Who do I approach? Will they want to talk to me? How do I have the courage to do that? How did you piece it all together?
Yes. Oh, that's such a good question. And, I would start off by saying, I think most people are so willing to spend time and share what they do. And these meetings are great. These interviews where we can talk about what we do is great because, everyone can see that. And there might be a little glimmer of something that says, oh, that sounds interesting to me. And you can kind of carry that with them as they're looking at schoolwork or other opportunities. I definitely think, internships, summer jobs, your friends' parents, just being curious, right? And when the opportunity presents itself, not being afraid or shy of asking, because people love to talk about what they do. So I highly recommend that everyone take that opportunity when it presents itself.
The word curious is a great word, and I think it's a word that if you embrace, you can be curious throughout the course of your entire life, right? It doesn't stop after you've found your passion or found a career. Curiosity is something that you can perfect, forever, right?
Right. I honestly believe I learn something new every day. I do every single day, and I've been working for a while, and whether it's in my work life, my personal life, or with my children, or whatever it might be, I feel like I learn something new every day. And I think that's just such a great aspiration to just try to learn something new every single day.
Yeah, well, no doubt you're open to it too. So
yes.
Having that mindset. So let's talk a little bit about what your first job was, like your very first job when you were in high school.
Okay. My very, very first job in high school was I worked at a donut shop. and it was very interesting. They were the donut shop that would hire you. Like the very first place you could get hired was at the donut shop, and I had to be there at 4:30 in the morning, and we basically made and served donuts and served coffee, and I can only do it on the weekends because of schoolwork, and I ran track and played tennis in high school, so I wasn't able to do work during the week. But that was my first job. I was so excited. I definitely realized that was probably not my long-term job. I'm a big runner, and just having a lot of donuts and running does not really work well. And so I did that job for a little while. It was a stepping stone into a lot of other opportunities, but that was my very first job.
Yeah, well, we all learn lessons from our first job. So what do you think the lesson of that was?
Yeah, well, the lesson from that job was that it's okay to try things, right? Just that was sort of the place that would hire people first when you were eligible to get a job, and some of my friends worked there. And it's great to try things that can lead to other jobs. And I mentioned I'm a runner. I love working with people, so I thought about, well, I'm not sure this is the best long-term summer job for me or weekend job, but I ended up branching off into working in a running store, and then I developed a track and field program for children that took off, and we had so many children and special guests, and that was more of my interest and passion. But I feel like we all got to start somewhere, right? And so I was glad to start with my first job, and then I was glad to be able to work my way into other things that were probably a better match for me.
Maria, we have less than 1 minute left, but before I leave you, I want to ask you, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to students today?
Gosh, one piece of advice. So I would say this: to be brave, to try new things, to not be afraid, to take on a little bit of responsibility that is new to you, because you have so many people cheering for you. You don't even realize how many people are behind you and support you. There are more people than you could imagine. And so my recommendation is to go after your dreams one day at a time, and know that you've got a whole army of people that are cheering you on.
Maria Barry from Bank of America, National Executive. I love your enthusiasm. Thank you for being with us today on JA Inspire, and we will see you next time.
Terrific. Thank you, Laurie.